Only on KOMO, a North Seattle mother says she feels like she's on her own in trying to protect her family after she was attacked twice by the same man while grocery shopping with her young children.
The first attack happened in the parking garage of the Greenwood Fred Meyer on Saturday. Just one day later, the same woman was confronted about a mile away inside the Crown Hill Safeway entrance in North Ballard. KOMO's Michelle Esteban reports she waited 20 minutes for police to respond, and when they didn't show, she took her frightened children home. Michelle?
Well, Mary, it was not the response time that she had counted on or hoped for. She says it's really forced her to speak out and also really look closely at the city policies. But the bottom line here is she says, you know, it's not too much to ask to go shopping without the fear of being attacked.
And my children are in the car and they're screaming. They don't know what's happening other than there's something scary happening. And he's hitting the back of my car with this cart.
Chelsea Gray says 1 minute she's packing her kids and groceries in her car here inside the parking garage at the Greenwood Fred Meyer. The next, she was under attack.
I see him coming from the side and he is ramming me with a cart.
Your body?
Yeah, ramming into me with a cart.
Other customers heard her screams and scared him off. Chelsea called 911 and waited 20 minutes, but nothing.
The police never came.
Did they ever call you?
No.
She chalked it up to SPD's shrinking police department. The interim chief has warned budget cuts have forced SPD to prioritize calls and triggered slower response times.
We've crippled our only source of protection against what's happening.
A day later, the unthinkable.
This same guy.
But this time at the Crown Hill Safeway in North Ballard. She didn't call 911 this time. She found a phone number to file a police report. Detectives are now investigating both incidents.
But what was conveyed to me by the manager is that their employees, his employees, are being accosted daily.
Neighbors too afraid to be identified told me off camera the same thing and pointed to this homeless camp behind the Safeway as a magnet for police calls. But they too call and wait. 5 minutes after we first arrived at the store, my photographer verbally harassed. What would you say to our city leaders?
Defund the police was not the right move. We need our police.
Preston, the owner, told me tonight she has done everything the city has asked to make this motel safer. But neighbors, they say the trash, the drug dealing, the harassment is as bad or maybe even worse than ever. And something needs to change. New ownership at the Smokey Point Motor Inn in Arlington hasn't made the neighborhood any better for Kim Winfrey, who owns the Pottery Nook across the street.
There's a lot of drug activity is what I see.
Anthony Sanchez takes his son to train at a nearby martial arts studio and says they always have to be careful.
There's just a lot of people that seem to be high on drugs. They walk around here, they harass people occasionally.
In a court filing, Arlington police say they have responded to the motel 253 times this year through August, much of it for narcotics use or sales. It's been a pattern over the years with 332 incidents in 2020, 373 incidents the year before that, and 335 incidents in 2018. Businesses next to the motel say it's been a burden on their customers.
For our patients, they don't feel safe coming here sometimes.
As a business owner, it's a little bit of a hazard.
Angela Yoon managed the motel for the previous owner before buying it outright. City officials say they've worked with Yoon on a series of safety changes, but the crime continues, something Yoon denies. So you did all these things?
Yeah, all that I did, everything done.
Now, the city is taking legal action to try and shut down the motel for up to a year and end the ongoing lawlessness.
We look forward to the city coming in and maybe doing something to clean that up.
The new statewide ban on single-use plastic bags takes effect Friday. Restaurants, retail, and grocery stores have to charge you at least 8 cents for a large paper bag or a thick, reusable plastic bag. A fee is optional for a compostable bag. Leading up to this big change, a lot of people are wondering if these kinds of bans actually help the environment.
KOMO's Abby Acone talked to top environmentalists in the region to get some answers.
Over at the Maltby Cafe in Snohomish County, owner Tana Baumler is buying new bags for takeout orders. Baumler says she didn't know about this new bag ban until I called her about it today.
We kind of thought we were fine, but then as I got poking into it today, I realized, no, this bag isn't going to pass.
Alyssa Barton at Puget Sound Keeper Alliance says studies in the U.S. show that these kinds of bans lower plastic use.
Banning plastic bags and even just requiring a fee on their use can reduce litter and reduce plastic bag consumption, which is a huge issue.
Barton says this legislation is important to protect our rivers, fish, and ecosystem of Puget Sound.
I really think that we need to turn off the plastics tap. We know that single-use plastics have got to go.
Critics of the ban argue that substitutes to thin plastic bags do more harm than good if you look at the full life cycle of a cotton or paper bag. Here's Todd Myers, the environmental director for Washington Policy Center, a conservative think tank.
The problem is not that plastic bags are great for the environment, it's that the alternatives are even worse.
Other activists disagree with Myers, while Heather Trim with Zero Waste Washington says both paper and plastic bags have environmental impacts. She says that paper bags aren't littered in the same way that thin plastic bags are.
You can recycle them. They don't end up in the environment as litter, and when we go out to our litter assessments.
Even in their differences, all the environmental activists I interviewed say they hope people are serious about reducing waste and reusing their bags.
We want people to bring their own bag, period. And by bringing your own bag, you're just simply reducing the plastic altogether.
I'm Abby Akoni, KOMO News.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking out our YouTube page. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell from the KOMO Weather Team. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for additional news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't ever miss our YouTube updates.